Today we have Radosav Antonio, who is currently a lead software engineer at Totem. He has 9 years in development industries and started from React developer to leading React Native development teams. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You had like multiple transitions, like from React Web to React Native, meaning mobile development, and from developer role to development lead and lead engineering roles. So I really hope I really hope you had some valuable and honest insights about what it actually takes to keep growing as an engineer.
Yes, sure. I will be happy to share with you. It's a very long story. We'll definitely not have time for everything, but I'm happy to share as much as we can do.
Thank you so much. All right, before we dive in, I would like to go back I'd like to go back and start with the beginning. Like, how did you enter the engineering, the tech field, tech industry, and what was the decision behind it?
Yeah, that's another interesting story for me. More or less was by mistake. So, firstly, I study economics. I have a master on European economy, and was kind of very successful on it and very good. And I work for Societe Generale in Romania. But actually, that was my dream at that point. So dream accomplished. But I find it very shortly, after very few years, very, very repetitive and not challenging at all. Because of this, I had to do a change in my life. I literally didn't know what way to go, but as a man and as a kid who had access to computers, I thought, like, why to not try to do something better with the computers, like programming side, and everything that comes from. Here, of course, self-learning firstly. I try to join boot camps, things like this. It's not worthy, in my opinion. You will learn literally nothing just by suffering yourself in front of the computer. It's the real way to learn. And with today technology, including AI, it's so easy. It's literally so easy because it helps you to set up the environment. It helps you to understand the bugs at least at a level where you can be hireable. So this is how I decide to move on React. I didn't know obviously with what to start, so React was just a bit of search online, what technologies exist, what frameworks. I did not even know what a framework it is at that time. What we start with, and I find some front-end frameworks that are based on JavaScript. I prefer JavaScript because I was able to find a lot of courses online. To be honest, I didn't know how big it is or the reason behind why there are so many courses. It just happened. And continue to studying what it's based on JavaScript. Front end was much more evolved at that time. On JavaScript now, backend it's as well. But anyway, from all the front end frameworks, I did find out React is kind of the highest demand, and this is why I start with React. I did not stay too much on React. Discovering React Native, it's a thing. Obviously, I did not understand completely what are the full advantages. I understand I have to do just one code and it will work on both platforms, but I did not understand anything on the background, and I did not understand how hard it is to to make one code to work on both platforms. but my idea was mobile is the future. So I was looking at my friends who have kids. I was looking at teenagers like 10 to 15 years old. They kind of not even know to use the computer, but they are experts on mobile devices. So I thought like this should be the future. Why to not change on mobile? And long story short, I mobile it's interesting. It's not very different by as a code compared to React. Um, Speaking about React Native, obviously, but the environment is completely different, and the architecture is completely different. And I find this as a niche, so there are not many engineers on the market who know to do it on a professional level. So yeah, was a bit of luck, obviously. Was a bit of perseverance. I would not say hard work. So I don't want to tell like everyone, like, oh my God, I worked, I don't know, day and night to get here. No, I just follow some courses and I build my GitHub. I built some projects that I have even now. They are funny when I'm looking when I'm looking back to them. And yeah, this is how I learned literally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because uh, speaking about not seeing it as a huge effort, like a really hard work, I can tell, like from my perspective as well, because that at some point when learning new stuff, that everyone looked it's so different and it's so hard to learn. I was just thinking it in and just doing stuff and. By practicing it, I think that's the easiest way
Yeah,
to get valuable, like to get hands-on experience, and basically in the day-to-day job that matters the most. Of course, lead code problem solving does to some degree, like 20% of the problems might need this kind of skills, but 80% of the problems that are solved, it's okay to know like the a wide array of tools that is um, offered by a specific technology. So I agree. I
yeah,
agree
that's
with
true.
I agree with you on that. Uh, but still, how there at that point, I remember there was like a variety of uh, development fields areas. So basically, what you're saying, like what we were doing mostly was related to the UI part, like the interaction, the user interaction part. Was this some kind of uh, factor or that made you to decide to choose either web like React framework and later on React Native, as well as interaction interface from mobile for mobile users?
Yeah. So, as I said at that time, I did not know much of a difference between the frameworks, and I just have had a basic idea about front end. It's the part user interact with, and back end is the server side. But I was not even able to choose between these from the back of my head. So the only thing that guided me was JavaScript. As I said, there are a lot of tutorials around, and it was much easier to practice. It was much easier to find a lot of exercises to do to test yourself, to test where something is wrong or why. Following a tutorial or an exercise or something like this, even on YouTube. Now, of course, with current technology, it's different story. Um, but using my current experience, I would say React Native, it's a very big deal. and it's not a big deal because I'm doing it. It's a big deal because there are many huge corporates that are using it. And here I will mention Facebook, who obviously are the ones who created it. I will mention Microsoft, who are very heavy on it, and their mobile apps are already on React Native. Some Windows apps are already in React Native, and who knows, in the future, it's very possible to see an operating system from them on React Native. And the latest one, it's Amazon, who joined the boat recently, and they created an operating system that has everything React Native integrated inside, and we'll see where we go from here. So pretty much it's a very future proof, and this is why I would stay on React Native. And I having connections with some core developers, I can tell the futures looks amazing. They will try to incorporate even a React in React Native. It will be a mix of both of them. It's very interesting. Right now, it's still a problem on how to create the CSS to work on both sides, because it's something completely different just on the CSS part. But everything else, it's doable. And they have a plan for it. And if we look on the last updates of React Native, and if we look on the new architecture and how it works, it goes to how actually a website or a native app is working, which is amazing. So yeah, the future, it's pretty good for React Native. Yeah, not much to say here other than that. I think it's the most promising framework for the future. I choose it by mistake. I'm staying it now because I understand it.
Yeah, so basically you understand it, you're lived for quite a while, and you, as you mentioned, you are in touch with core developers, which
Yeah.
eventually will help you to understand the problems they are trying to solve, and you see like at a larger to a larger degree what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Speaking about your career journey
Yes.
as a developer, you shared how you did learn, and what was your motivation to onboard the tech industry bandwagon. But how did you eventually landed your first job?
Yeah. This is a very good question, and I will give you an answer that probably you will not ever expect. So I will talk about my React Native experience, because my React experience was very juniorish, and it was just because I know people in the industry at that time. My parents know, wherever, things like this, and was not big deal. Was very juniorish, so I will not even consider that area, because with current technology, current courses, and everything, it's easy for a beginner to know more straight away than what I know after that that time on React. So my journey on React Native, it started actually in London, and I was joining a club of Romanian people. Obviously, we had a lead. It was a paid thing. We had a lead who kind of train us, tell us like how to enter on the market, and things like this. So everything in order to be able to advance, to get the job, and to be on the industry on a very professional level. Um, and yeah, my first job, it came with help. It's easy like that. So
Hmm.
I applied. I had a lot of help on how to do the CV. Now it's not that much a secret these days anymore. You, for example, you can just follow my LinkedIn, and this is how a CV should look like. But at that time, it was a very big deal. I was trained about how to talk at the interviews. Obviously, being a group of us who did try to learn all these things and try to enter on the market, we was looking each other like what you did wrong, what questions you get, stuffs like this. From the entire group, I was definitely not the smartest one, but I was the most lucky one. I had just one interview, and that was the job. Um, the interview in London and probably everywhere these days, it is like an initial interview with technical lead, something like this, just discussions, general discussions, and a bit about your experience, what they expect. If that is good, and normally that should be good if you are able to throw some technical details, it should be good. It should go to the next phase. Next phase, it's a technical test. Here, the technical test, it's a bit tricky. Because of current and today technology, they don't give, or there are not that many that give technical test home anymore, because obviously an AI for a mid engineer position can can be solved easier without actually too much knowledge. It's not without knowledge, but it's without too much knowledge. So the technical test like this is not relevant, but this is what I had at that time. And obviously, some more advanced people from my group helped me with the technical test. I was learning it, and on the third interview where I had to explain the technical test, I was able to explain this. Once you are on the market, so what this mean? This mean first step it's hard, yeah? You do wherever it takes. You are friends with wherever you need in order to take the first job. Once you take the first job and you are offered the salary, that's your level on the market. So a company, it's willing to pay you to do that job, that amount of money. So that's right now, doesn't matter what's the past, doesn't matter what happened. Right now, that's your value on the market. And that's something very, very interesting to understand. So first job is super hard. And on the first job, you push as hard as possible. That's actually where the hard work it is. You push as hard as possible to understand, to put questions, to learn, and to steal ideas from other engineers, and to learn every time, like how to do this better, how I can improve it, how I can improve a component. And after this, you go a little bit on something more complicated, like how to architect, why to architect like this, what can be done better, what technologies to use, um, what libraries to use, or what it exists on the market, how to adapt the business needs to available technology. So after the first job, you are paid to learn. Literally, you are paid to learn. And I think this journey, it will go almost forever. Even if we look now on the super advanced engineers, like I don't know, engineers who are paid with millions in Silicon Valley, yeah, they have lead positions. They lead the tomorrow technology and things like this. They are learning at the job. They are not learning how to code, but they are learning from mistakes. They are learning what user wants. They are learning what technologies are better than others, because these days there are so many options for everything. It's a bit overwhelming how to choose the correct one. So yeah, first job it's hard. After this, it's a paid learning journey. Another point that it comes now in my mind, and actually it's very very important. Many of today people have that experience problem. So
What do
let's
you
talk a
mean?
little bit about how a job description is looking like, and for a junior or a mid, yeah, and how the real experience it is, yeah. This is actually a super interesting topic. I was one of the lucky ones because of my very little React experience, but I see this on some of my colleagues working, and I will tell you now something amazing about how the market is working and to understand it. We will start from the very beginning. What university it is. These days, universities are not um, a learning curve, other than if you do like something like Cambridge, MIT, Harvard, wherever. So any other university than this, like top 5, top 10, yeah, any other, it will not teach you enough in order to get a job, or at least not in this field and many other fields. Probably as a doctor, yeah, it's important to to have a good
Oh, oh yeah.
university. But here nobody dies, you know. If you do, if the app crash, nobody dies, which is a big advantage. So universities actually, for most studies, they are just a way of showing a student it's able to follow a pattern. It's understanding some requests, and it's able to follow a pattern to solve that requests. This is what actually university it is. Now let's look a little bit on the job market, where a junior, yeah, for a junior role, they request you to have like 2-3 years experience. Like, how I can have 2-3 years experience if I'm just finished the university? No, this is like a very big questions. Well, the answer is it will sound very strange, but this is the reality, and this is how you enter on the market. If you know you have that experience, if you know you are good for a junior, yeah, you did your practice as we discussed before, you have some things on the GitHub, um, you want to follow the pattern. If they ask things that are absurd, you can have things on your CV that are absurd, yeah. So you just finished the university, but who says you did not work for a company that probably is very hard to be checked, you know, during that university years? And who says you do not have that experience? I guarantee you have that experience. So nobody can say it. If you find something like absurd, on the job description, be sure that's just a way to select candidates that are able to go over that request. And it's not going as knowledge over that request, it's finding a pattern to go over that request. So plain English, don't be shy to lie about 2-3 years of experience on your CV for the first job. This is like a very big deal.
That is actually something I didn't understand. And I had recently a discussion on Reddit that some guy who didn't studied in university, but still he wanted to land a job in software engineering industry. The question was how for him to get experience.
Yeah,
My short answer was open source. Like, you can either build your own project. That's even better because you can showcase your creativity on solving a problem, or joining an ongoing project, and you can contribute like in a similar to a environment that is in a company, in a team, and you could bring quite the same value.
yeah,
And this actually open source, like from what I've been discussing, helps both in a couple of ways, maybe even more. It's either you can land in a company that you are helping to contribute with those open source projects, or you can showcase in the CV that like these tool or library was used by so many people, and I did contributed, and it made an impact, because as you mentioned, nowadays it's important to provide value for the company as an engineer, because business first of all is making money, and then and engineering is a tool to achieve
Yeah.
goal.
I will not even go that much. Is not everyone have the opportunity to do an to work on an open source code, and even if you don't have it as a starter, don't be scared. You work by yourself. You put something on GitHub, you get the real, that's the real experience. And on your CV you work on X company from, I don't know, from Romania, from Bulgaria, from wherever, nobody can track it, or will ask you about it, and that's it. It's simple like this. Why you stop to work for that company? Because I had to move, and wherever management shifts, view of the company shifts, something like this. They will not even ask more. As long as you can prove the experience and you have what they request on the CV, they will not ask more, because they know actually
Mm.
somehow you managed to get around
Mhm.
that problem. Yeah, it's very important to adapt to the system. So we have to see
Yeah,
over the window it's presented in front of us. It's we have to open the window a little bit and to understand what happens on the market, because in the end,
it's more the medias. Yeah,
exactly, in the end, we are on a competition here, yeah, for jobs, and this is how they will select the most creative one, the one who will find a way to solve a problem, uh, things like this, pretty much going around this 2-3 years experience, and literally lying on your CV about it, but be sure you have the experience as an engineer. Yes, you did your GitHub. It's fine. You will go through it. You will get your first job, and on the first job you will have the chance to really learn a lot. And first 2 years, if you put the hard work, you will have a nice nice life after.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's some kind of long-term investment. All right. So, as you did progress, have you had this kind of moments when you wanted something more to achieve from your career?
I have moments even now, even today. So I have these moments all the time. Here it depends of what type of person you are. As I said, when I had like my first proper engineer role, I was curious about everything. Um, it's just because I was almost 30 at the time, and I was on a moment of my life when I was thinking like, oh my God, what I am doing with my life, like it's time to do something. And obviously, not being a person who is good with businesses and things like this, like to open a business, yeah, my option was to be good on my career. And uh, I put the effort on it, and I put the effort on the first years, and I thought that will be it. And for half a year or something like this, probably I can say I take it easy. So after my first 2 years of React Native, the third year I take it easy. Was not a good idea. And somehow the fortune at that time was not luck, but now I see it as a lucky part. So at that time, unfortunately, because COVID came and everything, I was made redundant, and I remain without a job. uh, I was very scared. That was like a wake up call. Like, okay, what I know now, what I can do, and I realize actually my progress was pretty good. Obviously, every time it's more to know than and more to learn that you already know, wherever position you are in. But I was pretty good to get another role. I was on a good position. Technically, I was able to explain complicated things, architectural wise. I was able to do some architectures, and on this market that is like super difficult, I was able to find a job. I was very aggressive on searching jobs, so I was literally contacting people, tell them what I know, tell them I'm looking for a role, and this is how I made the transition from Ghost to Unitasker. On Unitasker, I joined them as a lead engineer straight away because what they want from me, they want to build 2 of their apps from scratch, literally from scratch.
Oh.
Backend already existed. The mobile apps, they had something. It was done in Flutter, but was not working anymore. They kind of hit the wall with the limitations of Flutter, and this is why I joined in order to create their uh, 2 apps from scratch. Here, it was an amazing journey for learning. So to practice is what I knew from the previous jobs, to practice my ideas, to hit the wall literally in production 100 times, and that probably this is the place that grow me the most from just a normal engineer to a proper lead engineer. And of course, here, because of the position and because of the requests, I had all the time requests like how to make this better, how to make the app to work better, how to make everything better, because this is what the lead engineer it's doing in the end. And yeah, I managed to do them. Was super hard work, at least for the first half of the year. um, it was super hard work, but after this, I kind of collecting what my works give, and was much more enjoyable after. Was a nice journey where they literally pay me in order to make something better, to learn for myself and to apply that learning on their app. And yeah, today that 2 apps are super wow. They are built on the new architecture, so everything is up to date. They have less than 1% crashes with thousands of users daily, which is amazing. um, so yeah, everything it's about wanting to do better. Doesn't matter where you start from. So once you know to build a website, doesn't matter what side you are focusing now on to make it better. You want to make the store better. You want to make the API calls better. You want to make wherever to adapt it to 120 frames per second. You want to do things wherever it's in your mind. Everything is possible, and with current technology, everything is easy to learn by yourself. Um, Google it. Obviously, Stack Overflow it's still
Still
best
okay.
friend for an engineer. It will be much easier for you to create things with the agentic AIs, but I would like here to raise a big attention mark. Do not fall in the trap of agentic AIs, because you will find yourself so dependent of it that at one point you will question like, I am an engineer anymore or not. So use it as a tool, don't use it to replace you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's a very good topic that you brought. I think we will have a little bit of a time to discuss a little bit later, but right now I'm trying to understand the like what was your key takeaways from that first half of a year as a lead engineer? Basically, you mentioned that to improve, in a sense, to make it performant, to make it more maintainable, and what else?
Yeah, so these are just technical things, but as a lead engineer, there are much more things. Firstly, is the management part. And as a new manager, obviously, you will make all the mistakes. And the first mistake all the managers are doing, it's you take all the work because you feel like someone else cannot do it. Believe in your team. So this is the first thing I learned. Believe in your team. They are there to help you, to sustain you. You don't have to do to do their work. They have to do your work, and to follow what what you architect there. Um, this is the first big deal. The second one, as a lead engineer, obviously you have to properly understand the app, to properly understand the architecture and the direction of the app, to understand the business needs, to be able to come with ideas, with improvements. And improvements here are not only how this is another trap. Improvements here are not only code based. Yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of improvements on probably any code, wherever who it's writing it. After a year, there will be improvements to be there. This is for sure. But I'm talking about improvements for business. Like think, I don't know. For example, the backend running on Amazon web server, and one of your calls is very heavy and repeating it. Think what you can improve, yeah, how you can make that call to and architect the entire structure app backend, how to make the calls, what you can improve in order to not have that much of a pay and that much computing power from Amazon web server, how to add money to the business, literally, yeah, how you can do more with less. So this is the
Wow.
most important thing that a lead engineer have to follow, and where you can really bring value. And as long so there are two sides here. Yeah, it's the business side and is the team side. Team team wise, as I said, believe in your team, um, teach your team, listen your team every time. I it's amazing how many times I learn things from my team. So being lead engineer does not mean you are the best, or all the time you have the best ideas. Um, Sometimes you are a bit disconnected from the code compare or from a side of the code compared to your team, and they will definitely have a better idea. So listen them, make them happy, work on, I don't know, agile system if it is possible. It's like easy to organize. Business wise, make them happy by making more money for them, reduce costs, um, and make them understand they need to work on data, special for startups who have that mentality of, oh, my wife last night thought it's a good idea to have, I don't know which future. Like, yeah, it's not this feature your wife think about probably is not what our user wants. So think on a smart ways to collect data and give value to the business.
Yeah, I think that requires some degree of mindset shift,
Yes.
basically towards the product and the business, and being able to delegate all that stuff into technical terms to technical team in order to deliver the final solution that
Yeah.
will make end user happy, or the app will crash. It's one of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
two possible results.
Yeah, you have to be sure the app will not crash, because this will affect the
Yeah,
business. And as I
sure.
said, as a joke before, he's not like a doctor who cut something wrong and the patient die on
But
the
still, it has
surgery
consequences.
desk. But yeah, it's you have to be careful for the bugs to not go on production and have the entire system on place, because it will affect the business, and obviously it will affect you as a lead.
Yeah. Okay. We slightly uh, touched the AI topic, and it's
Yeah.
quite controversial nowadays. Some say that it adds like tenfold productivity. Others are complaining that it's taking much time to learn and to introduce into organization. What's your take as a lead on AI, especially for software engineers and software engineering industry as a whole?
Yep. So AI is definitely an amazing tool, and probably the best tool we know up to now. Unfortunately, at the current level, AI it's able to replace the junior and mid engineers. Uh, these terms are very vague. Yeah, well, like what's it's a junior, what it's a mid, what it's a senior. Let's define it. Let's define it a bit. So a junior, it's a person who hardly it's able to make a component to work A to Z. A mid, it's a person who it's able to make components and relation between components to work. Yeah, and it understands the architecture of the app and it know to use it. Or at least most of it. Senior, it's already a person who know to do some architecture, a person who understand the technology, understand how it works, and it probably knows to do something on a few ways. So when it has to solve a problem, it has a few ways already in the mind how to solve that problem, and it's able to choose the better one. Lead engineer, it's just a senior with a bit more experience on architecture and management of the team. So nothing special from there. So yeah, going back to AI, unfortunately at current level, it will be able to replace junior and mids. It will never be able to replace a senior. Is not because it cannot, it's because it's very expensive. So let's think a little bit and to explain a little bit how AI is working. So just for everyone to understand, AI it takes tokens, and tokens are words or a part of the words, and it has probabilities of what it is next token according to the previous tokens. Yeah, so even your question, it's a group of tokens. That probability result obviously for us, for humans, in something visual, and we are able to read that. Yeah, so in words. This is how AI work. Yeah, so it's a probability, or for engineers, it's just an infinitive condition, if, and so on. But obviously, it's built a bit more smart than if in if.
Yeah.
This is why it's actually it's working with probabilities. Well, every this part of tokens, yeah, which actually is if in if, as we explain, it requests processing power, and as many tokens we are, it's more processing power needed. And we already said tokens are not only the response, it's also the input. Yeah, so think like this: for an agent AI who get a request from the user, yeah, in order to answer correctly, it will have to read some code. It will have to go on some files to read some code, probably very huge files. Yeah, so that are a lot of tokens. So they are very expensive. It's very expensive just to understand what it has to do. If the response is very complex, it's even more expensive. So this is why it's a technological limit where AI will never be able to, when it answers, to completely see and understand the entire code, the entire architecture. So this is the key. An AI will be able to do sophisticated things, even seniorish level things, but will not be able to architect properly the entire app, or will not be, if it architects something, it will definitely not taking care of all the other components of the app, because it's too much to read. The input is too high and does not work. So it will be like too expensive. It's cheaper for an engineer to be hired than to use a model on that. And of course, it's another technological limit. It's the AI models. So to understand better what these models are, they are a bench of a basket of tokens and probabilities after the token. Yeah. So from that basket can be smaller or bigger. These are the billions of parameters from a model. So a bigger model obviously requests, it's smarter, but it requests more power in order to be computed, because it's not only the machine who run the model have to keep everything in the RAM, but it have to search on the entire model every time, like what's the next token. And here we technologically we hit another wall, and this is why today's there are models who are good specifically for images, for example, because they are trained to be good just for images. There are models who are good specifically for coding, because they are trained to be good for coding. So this is a second limitation. And a third limitation, so after how big the model it is and how much the model can read, it is a limitation when we think like where this model is running, and how much it makes sense to run it where it's running. Today, in these days, most models are running on the server farms, not locally on the device. And I will
Yeah.
come on this one later when we will talk just about AI on mobile. Um, so these models are running on servers and on computers, things like this, that are literally working at full performance or very close to full performance 24/7. Unfortunately, this is another very expensive thing. So it's what we pay today, like £20, 200 pounds for being a member of one of the AI. It does not cover that costs. So that processors will burn in no more than 2 years, and they will have to be replaced. This is another cost limit. And of course we can go more deep. There are other limitations, but the conclusion here is senior engineers and architects will never be replaced by AI. I say never, probably for the next 10 to 15 years. So I don't know what technology it will come after. Obviously, I don't have the magic ball, but right now On this, we hit the limit, and pretty much that's it. Now it's the interesting part, the mobile. How an AI can run on the mobile, and what's the fight here actually? So mobile, it's a big deal because the AI can run on your local device, not on a server. This is what Apple is trying to do. And this is what some companies manage, but not completely, where Apple tried to do this completely locally. And why this is a smart move. For a company, think like what happened in recent days in US, yeah? Amazon fired 16,000 people. Why they fired them? Not because they don't do the job, not because they don't need them. It's just because they have to move the money from salaries to investments
Okay.
in servers. Um, Microsoft did the same, and the story continue. Yeah, so all these companies are investing very, very heavy on servers in order to run and train these AI models. Training it's very complicated, it's very hard to do it, and it will never be perfect because when you train a model, you train on something that already exists. Yeah, let's talk about engineering. You train the model on what it's on Stack Overflow. You train the model on what you
GitHub.
can find open source on GitHub. But if for a specific problem there is no proper answer, the AI will not be able to answer. Yeah. So this is
Right.
why these companies are spending a lot on servers and training models and find that golden model that will properly solve a problem. Personally, I think it's impossible. I know you will see uh, much more important people than me online that say the opposite, but you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to them. Just look on the market what happens and try to play with the models and try to understand what's their limitation, and you will find the limits very quick. Well, the strategy on the mobile, what Apple actually is fighting for, is completely different. They don't want the server farms. They don't want to invest in servers because they can see this is a problem long term, and they let others to have the headaches. Yeah, they work now with OpenAI. They recently announced they will work with Google, and so on. So they will pay some money. They will run on their server. Blah blah blah. But the final strategy for Apple, it is to wait a bit more to get the hardware on the mobile devices at the level where some bigger models can be used. Right now, as an idea, on the latest phones, yes, so iPhone 17, iPhone 16, Galaxy S25, and so on. So things that have the devices that have the latest processors, they can run models up to 8 billion parameters. Well, models up to 8
Wow.
billion parameters are good-ish, but they are not good enough for a user, and especially they are not good enough for a user who pay £1,000 for or more for a device. Because of this, what we can see on Apple, for example, they are able to just change some text, but you can see the limitations because it's not properly change all the time, because obviously, as I said, the model it's very small. You can see some some image generations, but same, they are done on device, and the images are not wow. Many times they are missing details that you request. This is because the model is very small. So they are looking forward to get a model. Probably we will look like 12 or 14 billion parameters that will be kind of what we need for a mobile usage, to be able to run on a mobile device. And this is why they take year by year, like, oh, we will do it next year, we add a bit more here, we add a bit more there.
Mm.
This is just media. On the background there are technology limits, and they try to run AI on user devices. As they made the advertise, of course, this will be a privacy thing that will be a very big deal. So the model will be local and will run only with local informations. It is possible
Mm.
probably to open the model to the internet if they want to. Um, like opening to the internet, it means allowing the model to search on specific websites for specific questions, like kind of what Perplexity is doing. They was the first doing this. And in the same time, they will run everything on your device, so it will be free. It will be cheap for everyone, and everyone will be happy, and we will be able to use AI as much as we want with openness on the internet, and pretty much take out most of the problems an AI model have.
Yeah.
Just for daily usage, and as I said, a model will never know more than the training. Yeah, so it is exactly like a kid. Yeah, if you was teach the history on a specific way, you cannot know more than that if you don't read something external, where the model cannot if it does not have access to the internet. So don't get scared. It will take jobs, and wherever it will probably create much more jobs than will take.
Yeah. Especially like for saying for large models that are from computing farms and on the server and deployed on the servers. And I also noticed that OWASP already started this initiative for AI security. And the point I was out to was that cybersecurity actually will be on a rise. And I said somewhere on the web like a couple of years ago that cybersecurity will bloom like
Yes.
in next couple of years, and
Yeah.
also the performance engineering as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, everything is open, yeah, and everything have access to all your data come with huge security problems. This is why
Yeah.
a local model it solve everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's distributed and it's kind of a pain for
Yeah.
hackers to
Yeah.
go ahead to learn from all the models from all around
Yeah.
the web
Yeah.
instead of having a single target of the server and try to access it from there.
Yeah.
That was actually a pretty deep dive into AI. Thank you for sharing that. But considering all this reality, what do you think that industry should do about, um, let's say, middle engineers and I don't know, middle engineers, even junior, in order
Yeah.
to let at some point there will be a requirement for new people
Yeah.
in the industry.
Yeah. You are
How do you
right.
see how do you see that could be solved?
You are right. This is a strategy for each business.
Mm.
I'm probably too small to give a direction, but I can tell what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
On Totem, who is part of Informa actually now, and yeah, they are a huge corporate in UK. So I had the idea of having a team of mid to senior engineers, to say it like this, yeah, of people who
Mhm.
are still learning, of people who are not able to find the best way of doing something, for two reasons. First one, it's obviously um, the the chance for another engineers to learn, and for me to build a team kind of from scratch. Yeah, people who will believe in you and will listen. And it's easier to change the mind to someone who is just learning than to change the mind of someone who will come to you, and even if does not have a good explanation, it will insist on that solution. Um,
Mm.
and secondly, it's very important for the business if the business looks on the costs. So it's true, the salaries, unfortunately, for mid and juniors are not that wow. It's no secret here, but I prefer to hire two mid engineers than one senior. Um, so cost-wise, there are two people instead of one. Business is more happy. Workout volume is higher. Quality probably it's arguably not that good, but there are a lot of automatic tests and thing to do in the app that can be like a shield for the quality. And but just change the project on a TypeScript strict to make them to see when the errors
Yeah.
happen and things like this. It's not a very big deal, and it's easy to do, and it's easy to manage. So I see doing this, it's kind of a win for the business, who now have two mids, but in 2 years from now it will have two proper seniors. They start with a very small salary. You will give them increase of, I don't know, inflation, 4 or 5% per year. They will still not be at the senior level salary in 2 3 years from now on, but they will be at the senior level knowledge. So yeah, it depends how everyone want to invest, and you want to invest for now or you want to invest for tomorrow, or you are willing to pay a bit more money today in order to pay a bit less next year. It's a business choice, and this is what I am doing, and this is in my way the only thing that can keep junior and mid engineers entering on the market. Unfortunately, otherwise we will have a big crisis in a few years from now when seniors will retire. Nobody will can work, or will be that kind of one senior will have to do the job of 10 people, which I don't say is not possible with current technology, with AI and with everything, but the quality will have a
Much less.
huge impact, negative impact.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your opinion on this. We are approaching to the end of our interview.
Yep.
Uh, I would like to have a round of quick questions, like small questions. So first one, I would say, from your experience, tell us a short horror story that happened in your career.
Horror story.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting thing. Horror story is probably the time when I was made redundant. When I was on the moment when I thought I know enough to be comfortable, and after this I realized I don't know anything, and I cannot be comfortable, and pretty much this is how I start to be more passionate about it than to make it more like a job. Why it's horror? Because from today, where in London, where you have to pay everything, to pay the rent or mortgage, you have to pay your for car, transport, food, everything is super expensive. Probably some of us send money home. Uh, Straight away from next day, you don't have income. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty scary. So yeah,
yeah.
good to it's good that you solve that. Okay, next one. Could you recommend or share one book or a couple of books that shaped your mindset about engineering as your career or as a tech leader?
Yep. So I have a series of books in my mind,
Hmm.
and I recommend the books, not the movies, because there are differences.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
it's the Lord of the Rings series, and you will ask like how Lord of the Rings affect engineering and
Exactly. Yeah.
everything. Well, it's not about engineering itself. It's about choices. It's
Mhm.
about uh, where you want to be. It's about understanding if you really want the most powerful ring or not, and why yes and why not. And these choices, you will find them on real life. You will find them on engineering. You will find them on your daily life. You will find them um, many times, even when you talk to your missus and you have a fight or something, you will think like it really makes sense to answer like this or not, or it's an interesting story of choices and of outcomes from the choices. In the same time, it's an amazing story by itself, yeah, a science fiction
Yeah.
story by itself. So I strongly recommend it. But as I said, books are different than the
Oh yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
and can start even with the Hobbit book. It's a good introduction, and it's nice to understand how that Hobbit from his this is how actually the book it started, for his um, a nice life doing nothing, pretty much how I was before being made redundant, change to a chaotic life, but huge responsibilities and nice outcomes in the end, and so on. This is my current life.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
agree. I agree with you. And that adventure actually, it shows that it's quite normal to get this responsibility, and it's quite okay in order to grow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I would also recommend the Silmarillion book.
Sorry, which one?
Silmarillion.
Okay, I don't know
It's
that one.
Yeah, it's about the genesis of the Middle Earth. So
Oh, I see.
it's a collection of myths and fables for with different characters from the very beginning, like Iluvatar and all Mayas and the Anatar, which was also lately known as Sauron, which it's about crafting the small things that
Mm,
can change entire world. So
yeah,
that's also true about engineering. And to your point, engineering, like crafting the tools and improve your skill to do something to the good or to the bad.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
up to each one. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I will have
yeah,
it on my list.
yeah, totally. If you are Tolkien fan, I would strongly recommend you that.
Thank you.
Uh, okay, I think we can wrap it up. Think that was a really amazing talk. I must confess. Uh, Tell us if you want to share like what's something amazing that you are currently building or would like to share about.
Yeah, so unfortunately, because of the confidential limits I have with my company, I cannot share too much. But I can share some things about my own projects, and my own projects are related to how to help people to come in UK. They are just on the very MVP alpha level, so it's something very at the beginning, but it's interesting. Um, it's about how it's not about how to help people to get jobs or things like this. Yeah, so I don't want people to contact me for these things. It's just about helping people to understand the system here, to understand what they need,
Mm,
because it's I consider it with all the beds that are here. I still consider it a good country to live in, and a nice place to start a family. And in the end, this is the country who give me the chances I have today. So yeah, you can find this all these informations on Facebook groups and stuff like this. But I would like to wrap everything, make it a bit more professional, make it available on some apps. The app probably will be exactly the same, but there will be different versions. Like I don't know, Indians in UK, for example, Romanians in UK, you know, and there will be specific topics for each. It's just, as I said, an MVP alpha idea for now. Obviously, it will request future investments. But yeah, we are moving baby steps. But things can be done, and anyone can do it. So I'm not shy to just try it when I have time. Obviously, like everyone. I have a family. I like to watch movies. I want to do nothing on weekends. Yeah, but yeah, a bit of time here and there. Yeah,
Recover on the weekends.
exactly. A bit of time here and there I give
Yeah.
to this project. And what is very interesting is I use this project for me to progress, to learn as well.
Yeah, it sounds quite amazing. I can tell that people would really follow. So, just in case you have some links to resources, you can share, and I will put them in description.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again for coming. It was a really great pleasure, and I think that's very valuable and will be very valuable for engineers nowadays in order to reassess their career and take a next step. So thank you so much for sharing your experience.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and yeah, hope the value is real. I did not wrap any answers, so it's pure reality. Hope to be helpful.
Yeah, it will be. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.